Hey guys, Bruce here. It's been a while, probably too long. I really had to do some thinking in terms of how I wanted to do this channel going forward. And really just to give you guys the best product out there. I mean, one thing that me and one of my good friends always say is you never want to put bad tape out there. So being able to come to you at this medium and really give y'all more focused opinions and topics and really what's the most relevant things and what you guys want to hear and what's going on in today's world and what opinions I can give that may be exciting or fun or just sometimes maybe even thought-provoking. So officially, I'm rebranding the channel from inphocus sports to one chance, one sound. So when you see that, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. And we're going to really try to build this up from 0 to 100 to 1,000 to wherever we can take it. So with that being said, kind of want to go over a little bit of structure things and what we're looking to do. I again want to shout out the friend I mentioned earlier. His name's Steven at Fanatic Perspective. Go follow him. He's got great content, great sports talk, big UT person, big Dallas Cowboy person, but big diehard Spurs fan. So if any of those three are your teams, go follow. But also, if you just want to hear good sports talk and good sports opinions that's objective, when he's not talking about the Spurs or Texas, go over there and go follow him. Promise you it'll be a great listen. Tell him Bruce sent you. The next thing, again, I really want to run down what the layout of this is all it's going to be. So expect probably 10 to 15 minute episodes or recordings at a time. In those 10 to 15 minutes, what I'll do early on is I'll lay out what I'll call the menu. And then the menu is kind of what you can look forward to talking about. So you can listen early, figure out what spot in the podcast that you may want to jump to or intrigues you the most, just so you have an idea of what's to come and what's coming up. So that way we make sure we're all on the same page. I don't know if I'll exactly say what order those things are coming in because obviously I want you to wait to the end and see if that one topic is something that's important to you. I don't want to listen for 5 minutes and then tune out. However, maybe I will. We'll just see how that all goes. So I'll put the menu in the descriptions probably more often than not. So that'll give you kind of a heads up on what's going on. So different things that may be discussed on this channel could range from fashion trends to sports talk to movies. As you can see, I picked today to bring this channel back because we have so much going on. This is like the mecca of time right now. I don't know if I'm gonna do this once or twice a week or how I'm going to do it, or if I'm just going to break it up depending on the topics. But we got the NFL draft tonight. We got Game of Thrones on Sunday. I have local kickball games going on that are always fun to talk about and hear about. And then most importantly, we also got the return of Thanos. I would like to say that I've been gone because I've been working out a lot because to make sure I could do my part in defending us in this war to bring everybody back, whatever it takes. I'm all about that mission. So I think those things are the most probably the things that are going on. I think today, diving into I really want to take some time to talk about the Marvel stuff. So we'll start there with the menu today. 3 topics. Let's just say that. Let's talk about Avengers. We'll talk about the NFL draft, and we'll talk about let's go with the NBA playoffs. Let's talk about that. Okay, so I think Game of Thrones needs to be its own separate thing because there's going to be plenty of opinions and controversy there. So I want to make sure I save that and give it this time. But diving into Avengers, guys, we're at the end of the journey, the end of a 10-year run, really. What's crazy to me about Avengers, and I'll say this, is it's literally speaking, the way I view it is you could almost remember your life in that 10-minute window. Like, think of everything that's happened to you in the last 10 years, right? Whether you've loved all the movies or there were some movies you didn't like or some movies you were indifferent towards, you can really point out what was going on. Maybe people you saw the movie with, maybe those people are a part of your life. Maybe some of them aren't a part of your life. Maybe some of them are experiences. Like for me, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I've been able to take her to go see all these movies, and that's been exciting, and that creates memories. So the culmination of this 10 years of work for me is really personal. And with that being said, I really want to transition to spoilers. Guys, please respect other people's viewing experiences. I've been listening to a few channels where people have said they've had the movie almost spoiled by them or spoiled from them because people just setting up traps to either say what the last 5 minutes of the movie were, or share a photo, or share a meme or a GIF, or whatever the case is. With the movie coming out tonight, I would say be very careful, because some spoilers are unintentional. It's those people who just want to let everybody know, hey, I saw it, and this part, was this. And then there's the people who intentionally are out there to try to really let you know, like, the whole breakdown or the whole dialogue. So be careful when you read reviews. Be careful when you watch, other YouTube channels. Just making sure that you trust the means in which you're getting the information from, because sometimes, obviously, people aren't courteous with that. Also, I got a YouTube notification saying there was a new Avengers trailer out, and it turned out that it was what looked like to be part of the movie. Luckily for me, I wasn't fully paying attention, so I cut it off before it really got anywhere. But there are definitely those little traps and stuff like that, so please be aware of that. Also, again, please don't spoil the movie for everybody. Let's be respectful and all that. So, yeah. So also, guys, NFL draft tonight. Diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. Anybody who knows me knows that. I can at least enjoy Avengers a little bit. I mean, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but I'm also an NFL fan. So I'm going to give a bunch of talk on a lot of topics that have to do with the NFL throughout the recording of this in time. I will say I'm happy that the Cowboys don't have a first round draft pick for selfish reasons, because I can watch Avengers and not be trying to look at my phone at the same time to see that notification of who the Cowboys drafted that I either like or don't like, because I really don't expect much action there. But brief talk kind of about the NFL draft. I really want to focus on the Kyler Murray and Dwayne Haskins, really Drew Lock and Daniel Jones situation. I think that deserves 3 minutes of time. So one of the things that I'm really big on is I think the NFL should really consider moving the draft up in maybe at least a couple months to closer after the college football season. Like, I'm aware that they want to do the combine, the pre-draft meetings, and those things do need to happen. I think they're very important parts of the process to figuring out the player. However, I think what's happening is that after the season is over, we're forgetting who these players are. But we watch the tape. So the tape tells us, and the games tell us, that Dwayne Haskins is the best quarterback in college football, and coming out of the last day of the season, he's going to be the number one pick. He's a lock, best quarterback, pocket passer, poise, all this other stuff. And then we get 4 months down later, and now we've overanalyzed his game to the point where, like, we've messed it up. It's kind of like having a barber who's giving you that shape up right, or a painter or something like that, and you just keep touching something so much that you lose the natural essence of it or the natural beauty of it. That's kind of where I feel like we are with the NFL draft stuff now. It's like we're over touching it so much to get information out there, whether it be mock drafts or pundits or opinions out there, that now we're just making stuff up. Like, I'm never going to knock any player, hashtag Daniel Jones. I'm never going to knock him. I think he's a good prospect. I think he's 6'5". He seems like he makes good ball decisions. He led a Duke team that dropped a lot of passes to 8-5, and that's impressive. Like, that's very impressive. But to compare him to somebody who threw almost 200 more passes than him, with about 25 to 30 more touchdowns than him, with just as many interceptions than him, I have to question exactly where we're getting this information from. Now, if you want to say, hey, I don't like the guy, then that's fine. We saw that with Josh Rosen last year. Sometimes people didn't like him. Sometimes people feel like he could just want to be a politician or a venture capitalist. So I get that. But then say that. But don't try to make it up as it's a part of his game that's making us, not like the prospect. For example, they want to tell us that, hey, you know what? He's not mobile. He can't run. He can't do anything. Well, I want to talk about something. It's called functional NFL speed, right? Tom Brady, we can all agree he's slow. And I'm not comparing Dwayne Haskins to Tom Brady other than just the speed element of their games. Or even we could say Drew Bledsoe in an old NFL function. People don't have to be fast. As a quarterback, I need you to be able to slide in the pocket, which we saw him to do, call out protection, identify a Mike linebacker, which I saw him do, and get into the right play. I've never seen a guy really knocked for something that he himself makes adjustments for in the game to make sure that he hides his own inabilities. To me, that's actually a sign of a hard worker, somebody who's self-aware, like, as I like to say, Skynet's going active with him. He's not in this world where he thinks that, he's going to go out there and beat people with his running game. However, they were still able, and he was still able to pick up yards in college football when he had to run. Do you want him out there running? Are you going to design some stuff for him? No. But can he do some read option stuff? Like, yeah. And let's not forget, guys, like Byron Leftwich ran for like a 40 or 30-yard touchdown his last season in the league. So, like he ain't got to be that fast, okay? Just need to be able to pick up a couple yards when we need him. But the thing about him is, though, he's going to make the receivers irrationally confident. He's going to make the offensive line irrationally confident. And if you're going into a game, let's say he gets picked by the Raiders or I honestly, as a Cowboys fan, I really don't want him to get picked by the Giants. But as an NFL fan, I do want him to get picked by the Giants because, one, I think his game is actually kind of similar to Eli. And two, I think it makes for good football. I think at the end of the day, with Dak and Carson and Dwayne Haskins, and the Redskins will probably pick one of those guys too, like, you have a chance to have the next 10 years or 8 years or 6 years of really quality quarterback play. And to see that happen in my own division, like I want those storylines. And that might be a controversial opinion to some, but to me, like I'm looking forward to it. I just hope he doesn't go to the Redskins personally, just because I'm not sure that the Redskins know how to handle nice things. Like the Redskins are like, you get them that nice toy on Christmas or Easter, and they're ripping through the package so fast because they just can't wait to have it. And they start using them before they even read the instructions or put in batteries. And, it's kind of like, okay, like make sure you know and you have a plan. I do trust the Giants, even though David Gettleman has been a lot more questionable recently. Sorry, Giants fans. But I do, because of their organizational stability, I do have a little bit more trust that they at least know what they're doing. So I expect that. But I actually also expect that the Giants may have to trade up if they really want him, because I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Dwayne Haskins goes third or fourth, somebody who's trying to jump in front of the Raiders. And maybe even second. I mean, maybe if the 49ers get offered something that's really good and they have an idea of what the Jets are going to pick, maybe they would drop down to 4 and trade with the Raiders. So just a thought. And then the next part, so that kind of covers Dwayne Haskins and Daniel Jones a little bit, but the Kyler Murray stuff too. I heard Kyler Murray getting criticized today about being a not necessarily being involved in the game plans or somebody who enjoys the process. And for me, it's kind of hard to hear, because how can you measure somebody off of intangibles that you can't really see unless you are the player? You don't really know. And then even there was some commentary about whether his dad was too involved in the process. And I honestly think that this is the Lonzo Ball syndrome or Lamar Ball syndrome, LiAngelo Ball syndrome, all those guys, whatever. B3, whatever, because we never have talked about that at any other point. We've never talked about how involved Peyton Manning was, to his sons being great. But now we're breaking out Kyler and saying, well, he might have a better relationship with his father than the team. And of course, that's always going to be the case. I'm actually praising him that he had a father who played successful amount of time in college football, who knows the game. Didn't really make it on the NFL level, but someone who's been around it. But we're kind of knocking him for that, and I don't particularly love that. And the thing too with Kyler, all you gotta do is watch the ball jump off his hands. Like, if you watch the ball jump off his hands, then you'll love the player, and then the quickness is there. I mean, I understand the concerns about the speed and if he's going to be able to ultimately consistently throw over the line, or you're going to have to always move the pocket with him, and how durable is he going to be? But I will say that I did see him battle against Alabama, and I was very impressed to see, just how hard he fought. He kept getting up, and remember, he's playing against a team that it put him literally players in the league. The closest thing to an NFL experience he had to play against, and he survived. Now, whether he can do that for 16 weeks, not sure, but I can objectively say that when he played against Texas down there in the Cowboy Stadium, that he threw probably the best passes that I had seen in Dallas Stadium all season. And that includes NFL quarterbacks, and unfortunately that includes Dak too. But Dak's my boy, and so we're going to leave that talk there. And then the NBA playoff stuff real quick, because I'm getting a little high on my time. And like I said, I really want to try to structure this to be 15 to 25 minutes, something that y'all can listen to on your way to work, or your way home from work, or to the gym, from the gym, whatever. Or just that little bit of talk that if you were to, be at the water fountain, or, at the coffee stand at your job, you could sound like you knew what you were talking about. Like, hey, did you hear about, the NFL draft tonight? So, as far as the NBA playoffs go, wow, the Clippers, I think the Clippers are really redefining, in a lot of ways, kind of even what the East is doing, this idea that you have to have superstars to necessarily win in the NBA. I think the Warriors really skews our view of things, because it feels like you got to have elite players now across the board, but that time's going to end. And I think the Clippers and some of these other teams like the Nuggets, even the Spurs to some degree, in the Western Conference, and then the Celtics in the Eastern Conference, showing that you can really build a team around one player, and then just build good developmental players around them and be competitive on a playoff level. With that being said, I know they're still going to lose to the Warriors, because the good thing about the NBA playoffs is 9 times out of 10, the best team's going to survive. That's why it's a 7-game series, because the NBA, unlike the NFL, isn't going to be a situation where, you get hot one night and that's it. Portland beat, the Thunder, and I know a lot of people feel a way about that, but Portland was the better team. And they showed that. And Portland had the better point guard, and he showed that. Buy Russ, buy all that. But I think it also really breaks down to show, teams, you got to build differently nowadays. Some architects that were around, the slasher, it doesn't really exist in today's game anymore. I mean, you think back to the Vince Carters, the Tracy McGrady's, the Allen Iversons, even John Wall when he came into the league, and Russell Westbrook, these high intensity, high speed, high athletic guys that, game is predicated on either getting to the rim or shooting a mid-range shot. The league really isn't built or sustainable for them anymore, especially in Russell's case, where you still want to have a high usage when it comes to chasing down rebounds. And, the way Russell even passes the ball isn't, it looks stressful in itself, because he's going 100 miles an hour to the lane and a dish. It's not like some of these guys like Chris Paul or Mike Conley or even Steph Curry, where it just seems like effortless, or even LeBron, where it's an effortless passing type thing. So when you play with that level of high intensity, it really is going to wear you down and break you down. And I think teams like the Thunder are going to really have to look at either rebuilding, moving on from Russell, maybe, which they probably aren't going to be able to do because of contract, but maybe getting him to move to the 2 position, and maybe you could bring in another guard or point guard who he's willing to let control the ball, and have those honest conversations with, to just be like, look, Russell, you had 2 triple-double seasons. That's awesome. That's great. We haven't seen anything like that in NBA history. But if this team's going to win, we need you to play more of a traditional point guard standpoint. We need you to get on the break. It'll be better for your legs. Your free throw percentage is down because your usage is just ridiculously high. So hopefully somebody gets with Sam Presti, gets with Russell Westbrook. I think Billy Donovan is a coach, because I root for teams, like my favorite teams, the Mavericks, but anybody who knows me with basketball knows I'm a fan of the game, also a fan of players, favorite players, LeBron. But when it comes to basketball, I try to be a little bit more objective from the standpoint is I'm a fan of the game. So I want whatever's best for the game. For example, in the Western Conference, I'm really looking forward to this draft class and stacking that with, you know, let's just say Luka, you know, and that whole thing. But even Marvin Bagley and then the boy from Oklahoma that plays for Atlanta, Trey Young. What's his name? I think it's Trey Young. But anyway, like even with that, like really some of these teams are going to get really good, and 5 years from now we're going to have really dominant teams and really competitive basketball. If you look at the Phoenix Suns right now, they're a joke. But if they get a Zion or they get an RJ Barrett or whatever, watch what they're going to be. Other teams like that is the Sacramento Kings, De'Aaron Fox, Marvin Bagley, you know, like add one more player to that. Let's see what they're going to be. And then you have teams like even the Washington Wizards, you know, the hometown team for me over here. And, you know, they could add a player or two and then be right back competitive. So, you know, guys, like really this NBA playoff, enjoy it. I think this may be hopefully the last year we have to endure through Warriors fatigue. But going forward, like enjoy the matchups we got. Might get a Giannis KD matchup the way it's looking. I mean, but that possibly Toronto and you know, Milwaukee series too. I mean, there's some really good NBA matchups out there. Maybe they don't have the traditional names we're used to without LeBron being there, but like I think we're also seeing that the NBA is going to survive without LeBron too. No matter how much of a fan I am or anybody else is, the NBA will survive. So yeah, I think we'll cut it off there. Might post another video at some point. You know, maybe after Game of Thrones, or I think I'll be, well, that's if you know, like I said, if I survive it, like that'll be like me trying to post a video tonight after watching Avengers. I just don't know that I'm gonna be in an emotional place that I can do that and enjoy it. So, but I'm always here to try to, you know, like I said, give y'all short, fun opinions. And yeah, like I said, like, subscribe, pass it on to your friends. Plan on this adjusting and adapting as I get your feedback, as I get other people's feedbacks, just so we can make this the best version of this show that we can. So again, guys, y'all have a great afternoon day. Happy draft day. Happy Avengers Day. You know, survive. Hopefully we don't got to survive another snap, like, you know, or hopefully we can reverse the snap, whatever happens with that. Yeah, look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.